story that I tell as I go around the country, and I've spent a lot of my time traveling in the places that were most affected by the violence that took place in 2007 and 2008 in the Rift Valley, but also in the coast, and I'll say why in a short while. And I engage people in their speculation as to why Kenya has suffered. Why we seem to have suffered what seems to be a wave of tragedy after tragedy, whether it's the elections, the drought, we've had the death of leaders, supermarkets burning, traffic accidents, and especially in the areas that are most affected in the violence, there's a narrative that has developed among some people where they talk of, I think in Swahili we call it laana. It's a curse. And I ask, what do you mean there's a laana upon us, or could be upon us? And I spent a couple of nights in a place called Ngarua in Burnt Forest, in an IDP camp. And one of the most impressive people I've met in my past year in Kenya is an old man I met there, who, when the violence took place, his home was burned down. He was a wealthy man. His home and all his property was burned down. And he moved to the Eldoret showground for a while. And all he had was his suit. And he refused, when the aid agencies arrived to give people clothes, he refused clothes. He wanted food. He refused to take off his suit. He had his one suit. And even in the tent, in the IDP camp, and his tent was leaking, and he had all sorts of medical issues as a result, he insisted on wearing his suit. He had that pride and sense of dignity in himself. And when I asked him, he explained it in Kikuyu, but if I translate it, he told me, we have suffered because we have become corrupt. We lie to one another, and we are the first to lie to one another. We are the first to steal from one another, and we are being punished because of this. And I found this an interesting analysis from a person who was in his particular situation.